All right, well, welcome. Hello, everybody on this training today. We're going to talk about the ultimate social media mastery, how to achieve financial freedom in network marketing. I'm really excited to give this training to you. This is actually a course. So this is not just ending with this presentation today here. That's going to be a course which you can listen and re-listen to it over and over. It's going to be in your back office of Utopian Global. So you can go through and all your new people can go through. Now, what we really want to do with this training is to help you really set up your profile, to help you become an influencer, to help you, of course, build your business on social media. Now, if you are just looking for, here and then purchase something, if you're just looking for here and then just, maybe I don't know, a couple of $100 a month, maybe you don't need this training. This training is really, if you want to build a brand, if you want to put yourself out there and being that influencer, if you want to really build this profile that you have people coming to you instead of you chasing them and going after them, then this training is for you. And again, we anyway should always have it like this, that we have rather people coming to us than we chasing them. And this is a technique, this is a method to that, and which does work, certainly work. And this has all to do with, of course, this influencer status, to become an influencer. Now, most people say, well, what can I influence? I don't know. I'm maybe sometimes I even hear people saying I'm a nobody, which is totally crazy, but you have those comments of people making, and that is of course not totally not true. You are somebody. It doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what you have to your name, has nothing to do. You are somebody. Everybody is unique. We all have unique characters, and we have all unique talents. We all have unique strength. So the first rule, of course, is you got to start with really believing that you are somebody. Now, in this course, we're going to, of course, go into the first of all, this first session is sort of the introductory. Then we're going to go into the needs and bolts and what you to do and how you really actively gonna attract these leads with consistency. Okay, so just take some pen and paper, because you may want to note things down. I always found when you write things down, they just stick better. So that is a good advice I, basically took so many years ago from Bob Proctor, in fact. So he always told me, write things down, and that's what I did. So let's go into the training here a little bit. I just need to change my slides here. Okay, so there's 4 phases when it comes to actually attracting leads, online recruiting. There's 4 phases. And again, in this training, it's sort of more so the introductory. And then we're going to go into the 4 phases in the different presentations. So the first phase starts with attract. We're going to talk today a lot about attract. How to attract people to you. And the second one is engage. Well, how then you do engage with these people? And then, of course, the third phase is, well, how do you connect? How do you build that connection with people? And then we're going to talk about the close. Now, you all have the scripts, the recruiting scripts. You have the ATM training, the ad tag message training, you have all the objection handling training, the PDF. So you have all these tools. Then how do you have those conversations already at your hand? You just need to, of course, either print it out or have it in a file where you can always look at it, right? So we're going to give you lots of these tools so you really cannot fail in this beautiful game of this mastery and how to become an influencer. So let's talk about the phase 1, which is attract. You see, there's of course a lot of people on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media. You are on it, right? And so what are most people are doing? Well, most people, they are scrolling their feed, they're looking, they may be liking stuff, maybe disliking stuff, but most of the time they're wasting their time scrolling. So there's not really a productivity. It's just wasting of hours and hours of course, our lives in one sense, you know. And I've been guilty of that as well. I have done this as well. And I'm not so much nowadays doing it because, you know, it doesn't, again, is productive. It's not productive doing that. And I really want to help you understand that when it comes, of course, to social media, there's always a consumer mind and there is a producer mindset. So part of becoming an influencer and part of learning how to really recruit online is changing your mindset from just being that consumer, scrolling that feed, looking at those stories, looking at what those other people post, to actually yourself becoming a producer, so that you actually produce content, so that you actually get value out, so that you actually give from yourself to others. And because this is going to make people attracted to you when you give more, okay? And so your job, therefore, is really to put content out and to put value out there on a regular basis. Very, very key. Give value out. I always say, give more value out. Give as much value out as possible. And even if you may attended a course and you may paid a lot of money for attending this course, and you know, I in my, you know, last 15 years, I probably spent a good $300,000 all in all now together on my personal development. Now, $300,000 for a lot of people, this could be maybe their lifetime earnings, depending what country they are in. You know, for some it's just their yearly earning. It doesn't matter. But $300,000 is a lot of money. In fact, you could buy an apartment with that anywhere, I believe, now here in Europe, right? Even in the United States. So I put that all into my education. Why? Well, because I needed to get better. I needed to become better. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to. See, the great thing is also by being part of Utopian Global, by being part of this community, is you're gonna get this value from others who already have spent all this money. See, I'm going to give this to you. You don't have to necessarily spend that money. If you just listen to our trainings, you come on our trainings, I'm going to give you that value. And of course, all the others as well. Our founder and CEO of Utopian Global, if you know or don't know, well, he has gone through, I mean, way more courses than I have. He's older than me, of course he has. So he has spent way more money in his personal development than I have. He has studied with way more coaches than I have. So he is actually certified coach in many, many different programs. So to be actually certified to give you the coaching and when it comes to personal development, mindset, when it comes to, of course, entrepreneurship and so on. So you just have to really plug in and listen and learn. And so I want to give more. I want to give all that. I don't want you to pay for it. I want to give this information so that you can actually take that no matter what your background is. And see, when you do then learn and apply, so what I suggest you to start as an influencer, when you have no influence, when you start out, when you know, basically right now, never did a Facebook post, never did anything on social media. It's okay. You can start and you can share as, of course, you learn. You can, there's so many ways, and I'm going to teach that to you, how and what content to put out. See, the biggest challenge, although in becoming a producer online, an influencer, is really just the lack of consistency. So people started and then they, you know, do it for a while and then they're gone. They're not doing it anymore. They think, oh, who's going to listen to it? Oh, nobody is liking my post. Oh, nobody is seeing my video. Or just 10 people saw my video. You know what? Understand, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if just 10 people saw your video. If you put something motivational out there, you may influence 10 people's life. maybe one person's life, it really doesn't matter. So that is totally fantastic. Imagine you changed one person's life. You know, that is something which a lot of people, they never change people's life. You know, they never impact people's life. So you will get there. It's going to take time. Understand that. So you got to make an impact and consistently add value. And you got to love the game. See, the reason why I do that, the reason why I love what I'm doing, the reason also why I love Utopian Global so much is because we're giving value. We're adding value to people, and continuously, consistently, from all kinds of angles, from precious metals, from financial education, from, again, social media mastery. So we are adding value from personal development. See, the love of the game is really, really key. And so you got to be generous with the content you give. You know, don't think, oh, you know, I paid for my Utopian Global subscription, and I learned that from Claudia. Well, you know, I paid for it. I'm paying my monthly fee for it, my asset accumulation plan. So now I don't give it for free. No, give education for free. You learn something about, I don't know, something about precious metals. You give this education away. Why not? Give it away, okay? Don't hold it on to you. Now, what makes influencers successful? There's 3 words. They show up. And I know Sahir said it very well. You got to show up to grow up. And that is very, very true. It's a trademark by Sahir now. They show up to grow up. So influencers, they show up, and that makes them successful. So the most successful influencers are posting anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 times a day. That's what the successful influencers do. Why do they do that? Well, because that is what we have found works if you do that consistently. And there's different things which you can post there's different themes, there's different subjects which you can post there. And this is really on your wall, meaning on your Facebook wall, meaning on your Instagram. That is not the stories. That is just on your wall, on your LinkedIn wall. In fact, any social media, it's just Facebook is really good in groups. So you know, you have this group feature, which is, I believe, amazing. So all others, or many other social medias, and of course the newer social medias, they don't have that yet. So that's why Facebook still is going to be that very popular because of the feature with the groups. The big question we of course have, always people asking, well, so how often do I have to post? And I always say, you know, okay, influencers do 3 to 4, 5 posts, but what should you do? Well, at least you should do the bare minimum. And the bare minimum is at least once a day. Once a day is at least the bare minimum. I really suggest that. Again, there is the story, or there is this theme between being a hunter and being a fisher. If you start new in social media, haven't done much, or maybe have done nothing. See, in the attract phase, in the phase we're talking today, it's a lot about fishing. So you're fishing, right? You're fishing for leads. You're fishing for people. You're fishing, so it's what we have to learn, what we have to understand, what we have to master is to putting bait out there on the hook. What we want to do is we put the bait out on the hook. I see sometimes, you know, they give everything. They, you know, some network marketing companies, they put out, reduce your wrinkles in, I don't know, 1 month, and put in the company name there and the video already showing that. That doesn't work because you're now selling. You don't reveal the company name. You don't reveal all of that. You just put the bait out and see if somebody is biting there, and then you can engage with them. And I'm gonna go into that more deep. So if you're just putting bait out on the hook, is really great. But again, this is the being the hunter and the being the fisher. but you also got to be aggressively recruiting and hunting. If you just do the putting the bait out, but you never go to that next step and actually engaging with that person, interacting with that person, and then actually asking, popping the question, when you read, of course, the ATM strategy, you see, you got to ask that question, you got to do it. And you don't need this days and weeks and months of relationship building. No, you can do it in 3 or 4 messages. You can do the really building that already. So, and ask the question. You got to ask the question. That is really what's meant by, really going out there aggressively recruiting and hunting. Again, and again, don't be it as an offense. Don't see it, oh, I don't want to sell. Oh, I'm not a salesman. Oh, no, 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 no. No, remember, and this is a big key lesson here. Remember, what we are doing here at Utopian Global, in fact, network marketing in general, if it is a solid company, of course, what we are doing is we helping change people's life. Do I want to talk as many people as possible? Absolutely, because what do I want? I want to change as many people's life. I want to change them. I want to help them. I want to give them options, you see? And so I get this all the time of people saying, oh, I'm just not made for that online stuff. I hear it all the time. Well, no, that's not true. You got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. I mean, yes, you have people who are introvert like myself. You have people who are extrovert. You have people who are in the middle. Now, I was a total introvert. Don't like to share things about me. Don't like to be out there in public. Don't like to do videos. I do it anyways. Why? Because, well, if I don't do it, if I am not out there, I'm doing harm to people. Why? Well, because the knowledge I have gained with what's happening in our economy, what it's happening all around, what actually business like this can do, if I hold back that knowledge, I'm doing a harm to humanity. That's not right. That's not fair. I got presented with this opportunity. I learned about that. I changed my life. So if I'm holding that back, I'm really egoistic. I'm a bad person, I would say. So no, I'm not doing that. I certainly want to change. I will certainly want to share the content. I want that people learn about that. Yes, can it be sometimes misconceived that people will reject? Absolutely. Will people misunderstand it? Absolutely. No matter what, it doesn't matter. I anyway gonna do it. Maybe they come back later on. The point is sharing the information. The point is putting yourself out there, because you are actually giving people options, and especially right now in this time, you just got to learn to do it the right way. You just got to learn it to give value instead of becoming always or coming across always as the salesperson. So should I hunt or should I fish? You should do both. See, you're going to have a higher enrollment ratio, of course, always, and this always has been said, this always will be so this is just the way it is. If you're doing belly to belly presentations, it's clear you're going to have a higher ratio in turnout, in, of course, people are actually joining up with you, but you're missing out on a fortune if you are not also, of course, on social media doing Zoom presentations, being on the phone, prospecting people out of your local area and so on. So yes, let's say if I was to sit with you down and I'm talking with you, we may have a coffee. Let me have a sip of coffee. And, we're talking fun stuff, we're talking live, we're talking, sure, my ratio to join you up is so much higher than, of course, talking to a stranger, make a friend, meet their friend, build rapport, and so on. But again, it doesn't matter. So you may need to, and I'm going to show this in the other trainings, you may need to go and talk to more people online in the beginning until you build your profile. And then if you would talk to somebody belly to belly, but eventually if you do it consistently, then you're going to have a great success rate. See, belly to belly, of course, has a higher conversion rate, but of course you should do both. So again, how many times should you post a day? Minimum is once, we said, but I would say no more than 3 or 4 posts on a daily basis. Typical, of course, the maximum, or my maximum, is going to be 4, and that means on the walls. And so the great thing is here, what we have been working on really those last months is actually having for you available very, very soon, and if you watch the replay, you're probably then gonna have it, is the 365 days post ideas, post done images for you, and you can then, you know, change it, make them your own, maybe change the color scheme, whatever you wish, through Canva. And we're going to do, of course, a coaching lessons on Canva as well. Canva is a super easy tool. It's for free. Again, the most important thing we want for you is that you put your money in your asset accumulation plan, and you don't have to pay for those tools, right? So definitely that. So you will find those social media posts already for you, so that you don't have any excuse. Oh, I don't know what to post today. Oh, I don't know what. You will have them, and we're going to give you also the different post categories, all the kinds of different categories, what you can, basically the themes you can post in. So let's go and talk a little bit about stories. I believe you would all know what is the story. So you have, of course, this feature on Facebook and on Instagram, which is the short stories. So stories, of course, is really, really great. Stories working different than posts work. And of course, it's very easy to connect your Instagram story automatically to your Facebook story. So I always say to people, set up your Instagram that it's automatically posting to your Facebook. And this is a very simple setting there. On the timeline, we just learned we post about 3 to 4 times. Now, story is different. So with stories, there's really no such things as too much. You see, because the stories, they really work with reality TV. Now, I don't have a TV. But I know people watch a lot of reality TV. I don't rarely travel in, let's say, a train, but sometimes when I do, very occasionally, and you know, you have people sitting, you always see what they do. They're constantly on their stories. They're constantly on their feed, on their stories, whatsoever. So I see people are always on that. It's like this is like this reality TV. It's like this addiction. There's stories. I know I was traveling last year to Thailand in December. I was spending some time in a nice retreat in Thailand, also while visiting some business partners there. And there was this person which was sitting next on this excursion we did to me. And he was just continuously posting stories, like crazy. It's like, what is he doing? So I asked him, what are you doing? Well, posting all these stories, and then he adds his stuff, his music, and so on. And he got a ton of followers, because again, this is like addiction. It's like a reality TV now. And this is great. And you certainly can, of course, attract leads through that. I mean, people love to sneak in others' life. They love to learn about other people's life. And this is why stories really work so well. Now, people, you got to understand, is they do business with those they know, with those they like, and with those they do trust. So when you open, and this is the whole thing about that story theme, is when you open your life to the story, obviously you build that trust factor. So people look in your life. So what I, of course, do, and not so much right now because I'm not so much traveling, but I'm probably gonna do it, doesn't matter, just here in my region, because my region is also beautiful. But usually when I was also traveling, I always post a lot of things where I am in the different countries, the different people I meet, the different places I go, and people loved it. People just loved it. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I would love to go there. How did you go there? And so you have people now starting an interaction with you, which you can build rapport with, which you can then, of course, go into that engagement mode and eventually find out and eventually probably be able to prospect. So that's because this is the game, what we are doing here, right? So that you will engage with people, learn about them, and if they start to follow you, people looking for better lives, people looking for better lifestyle, people looking for, you know, most likely what they don't have and what they would like to have. And so the stories, I mean, some people, they share all the negative stuff as well, or all the things that happen to them. I'm not a big fan of that, so I have to tell that. I'm still very introvert, so I really like to only inspire, to share great stuff and so on. I don't like too much into my private life, so this is really up to you. That really doesn't matter. I can't say it doesn't work. I cannot say that. So some people are really inside their life and they really, so that could work. I'm not so much about that. So it's a personal decision which you have to dare make. But I found, of course, that sharing things about life, which is entertaining, works super, super well. I can tell you that. And so on a story, there is really not so much thing as too much posting. There is just not. You can post as much as you do want. And this is why stories are kind of reality TV. And one example I have as well, and I already repeated it a few times on other training sessions we have, but because this is something which is really amazing story. So there's this guy here in Germany. I was his first mentor, and he always, when he speaks on stages in huge stages in front of thousands of people in Germany, he always talks about that I was his original mentor, and because of me, I was really the initiator, the instigator of his amazingly success, which is nice. It's really beautiful. But what he did is, he asked me a ton of questions. When I got to meet him, he was this like a SpongeBob, and he was just so curious. He had this inner drive. He just wanted to, he just was full of energy. He is full of energy. He is full of energy. He just, wow, he wanted, so he was in a meeting I did. That's how the story goes. He was in a meeting. He heard me speak about business presentation, obviously, where I always do some personal development. And he was so intrigued. He just loved it. He said, Claudia, I want to be like you. This was amazing. And so, I mean, he started asking me questions. I'm sometimes like, oh my God, okay, how many questions more? And he's just question. And all the time, messaged me, called me, ring me. I mean, so many times a day. Eventually it was like, oh God, it's got a little bit overwhelming for me, but it was good, because what he did is he just wanted to know, and he asked me continuously, well, what book you're reading? Well, why do you do that? Well, why this? Well, why that? So all the time. What he did is then every time he learned something new, what he asked me, he would go on Facebook or on Snapchat and he would share that. And so he did it in the beginning, not really knowing what he was doing. He was just so excited that, what he learned. And so he started sharing that on Facebook. So he did a live, or he did a post on Facebook. Well, I just learned such and such. This is amazing. This quote is so powerful. I learned it from Claudia. And so he started doing that. And first people got like, Oh, there's Michael again. What? This is BS. Yeah, come on. And so people were laughing at him. They were ridiculing him, putting negative comments out there. He didn't bother. He just kept going on, because I told him, Michael, it's wonderful. Don't worry. There's always naysayers. There's always people going to hate on you. There's always people who just don't see it. Just keep doing. And he kept doing. And then, of course, he did this Snapchat stuff. And so he did this short videos, because he could do this short videos. He did a ton of videos a day because, of course, he was reading that book and there were so many insights, and continuously he went on. Well, he, and long story short, became the most sought after young speaker in all of Germany. Now, Germany, we have over 80 million people. Let's face it. So he was, I don't know, a ton of recognition he got. This is just some years back now. And a ton of recognition, and he's coaching, I mean, on big stages now. He's coaching huge companies. I mean, like of course Bayer, I mean, the big pharmaceutical concern, or Lufthansa. I mean, he's really out there. He really built himself a huge influencing. I mean, he's charging, of course. He's giving a lot of content for free, absolutely still. But of course, he's now charging a lot of money for his courses, his books he's written, and so on. It all started with that. So he was a young man, second generation from Ghana, but that's what he did, because he was so consistent, so passionate about what he learned. And this is, of course, amazing. So that means no matter where you are at, no matter what level you are, no matter if you start now, you can achieve that. See, you are different. Everybody on the school today, everybody who's listening to this replay has different backgrounds, different religions, different beliefs, different skin color, different whatever. And so you all have unique talents. You just got to put it out there. And see, one of the big challenges for people is staying consistent. And again, and this comes, of course, they don't know what they post. And this is why we create this training for you. And this is why we want to really eliminate that excuse, so that there are no shortages of post ideas. So if you guys just could mute yourself, we're doing a recording here, that would be fantastic, whoever who's on the audio. Thank you. So, and otherwise I have to do it. So yeah, I guess I have to do it. That's me. Anan, you are the one who is not muted. Okay, I got to mute. Thank you so much. So let me share my screen again here. No, okay, that wasn't enough. Guys, if you could just mute yourself there, mute. All right. Share again. All right. So we recommend, of course, creating those post categories, and days are your overall themes, what you're gonna post about. So motivational quote, personal development quote, and we're gonna give you 66, investment quotes, precious metals quotes. The big key is you post what you enjoy about. You see, you gotta be authentic. People, they're going to follow you because they like and trust you. You got to be authentic. If you like this whatever particular sport, well, you're going to probably do some postings about the sport. Why not? I'm passionate about personal development. I'm super passionate about it. Why? Because it has changed my life. If it wouldn't be for personal development, if it wouldn't be for our founder, Bill Rowell, having me introduced to Bob Proctor, I would not be here today. I would not. I would be still in the rat race. I would be still there, finding out to have the clue, how do I get out of this life working so hard? I believe I would be still there, because I was at a point of my life, I almost had given up. I had achieved so much in terms of my youth, going through escaping East Germany, going through the pain of being abused, of going all of that. I had done all those things and eventually did seek freedom, meaning being in this country here, Germany, being able to, basically build businesses or whatever I wanted to do without being controlled, being living in this, communist, socialist environment. So I had achieved that, but I was stuck. Life went on, had my studies done, had my university done, got into the normal, ordinary people's life job and my 9 to 5 and another job to maybe make a little bit of extra income, but I was in a rat race. I wasn't building wealth. I didn't know how, didn't have the information. And so would it have not been me, of course, listening eventually to Bill, and Bill being so hard on me, really, putting me to that stuff of Bob Proctor, and me recognizing that I was my own enemy, because I was living in this constant blame others, because they were born rich, and because, yes, they had a better life, because, they inherited all, or because, well, they were truck dealers and they made all the money, or because, the money for them did grow in the trees, because, I was in this situation. I was like, okay, well, all the others were better. I didn't. Look, I had to struggle. I had to escape. I had to start with nothing. I had to this, and this is why I'm not wealthy. So I was in this blame mindset continuously. And you know what? Most people are in this blame mindset. Most people, this is again, it's another personal development lesson. That's why I love it so much, is most people are comfortable in that blame mindset. They're comfortable in it. So they're already so much used to blame others, to blame their circumstances, to blame what they can, to blame why all their neighbors they spoke to don't like what we have, because they have nobody in their area who would like what we have. So they are so comfortable in their blaming that they're never going to do nothing, because it makes you eventually comfortable. Why do people stay with abusive husbands or abusive wives, for that matter? Why do people stay there? Because, unfortunately, it eventually becomes comfortable in the being uncomfortable, but it does. So you got to move out of that comfort zone. You got to move out. And so for me, when Bill introduced me to Bob Proctor, and we were driving to Switzerland, it was a long drive. There was a lot of traffic. We were going somewhere. And this was really pre-Utopian Global, because I had met him in this company I was working for, and he was the top income earner, very, very part-time in that company. I was, my position in that company was a network marketing company. My position was, at this time, I of course moved up the ladder, the corporate ladder, but at this time, my position was looking after the diamonds, the top income earners. So sometimes I went with them to meetings. And so this time, of course, I went with Bill to a meeting he was holding for that company. And I was driving with him in the car. Utopian Global was not yet there. And so Bill, he put this Bob Proctor stuff on. And I was like, oh, who's this man? Oh, this is awful. This is so terrible. And I just didn't like it. I wanted to hear some music and things like that. And it's like, oh. And eventually it became so painful that it became so painful that in this car, I was actually crying. So internal crying and external a little bit, because I'm like easy to cry. You can see it now in my eyes. But because, it was like, I felt like this Bob Proctor guy, he's like talking to me. It's like, and I felt uncomfortable because he was telling to me all the things I should do, but I'm not, because I'm comfortable in being uncomfortable in my circumstances, and I blame other people. So it was so deep, and you see my emotions, because I'm still emotional about it, because it has changed my life. And so Bill kept pushing on, and eventually at the end of the trip, I was like, wow, that information is not so bad. So maybe it is me. Maybe it is something I have to change. And so, of course, you know, Bill is how he is. He doesn't stop. He just kept pushing, gave me more information, gave me more to really look into that, bombarded me with personal development. But this was my original journey. And so the reason, again, this is on this point here where we are in this lesson, post what you enjoy about. See, for me, that has changed my life. That's why I'm going to always post a lot about personal development, because it has changed my life. Would it have not been for that? You know, I would not be here today. So post what you do enjoy. Very, very big. So there's, of course, motivational quotes, there's personal development. One of the things I share a lot, of course, is also the books I've read, the podcasts I've listened to, influential people I did met. Of course, another thing I post a lot is just viral images. It's kind of infograph type images. And, you know, one of the things could be family. If you have kids, you know, it's something you did with your kids. Maybe you took them to Disney, whatever. And what I also like and enjoy sometimes, it's long texts. Why? Well, because, you know, sometimes I just share my really deep thoughts. And you think like, oh, people aren't reading it. Well, no. There are people reading it. In fact, I got a lot of people, a lot of leads, because they read my long thoughts and they really liked it. So yes, sometimes I'm sharing long content as well. So I really find that a lot of people are actually interested in that. And of course, another of my favorite is travel and adventure. I love travel and adventure, and everybody sort of likes travel and adventure. So as I'm traveling, I'm going to post all kinds of things I'm doing on vacation or I'm doing on the trips. If I'm, of course, going to see business partners, seeing people all around the world. So anything that's going to be interesting to someone else, and the message that, of course, I repeat over and over is consistently adding that value. And value means different things. So sometimes value is also entertainment. Sometimes value is just, you know, learning something new that may not even be a personal development message. So just like, oh, I didn't know that they did that in Uganda or wherever you are. So I have also something I shared, you know, I was in Kenya and I was, you know, Kenya was a really great experience, great people, interesting experience. A country full of controversies, and you know, you have very, very poor, very, very extreme rich. All this contrast, this Indian influence. So, I mean, amazing country, the nature, and so on. What I said, like, wow, I didn't know that about Kenya. So I did actually a trip with Bill, founder of the from Utopian Global Group, because we were on a business trip there, from Mombasa to what is it? I forgot the capital. You help me. Anyway, to the capital.
Is it Kampala in Uganda?
No, it's Uganda. No, I'm talking about Kenya. I did trip to Nairobi.
Nairobi.
To Nairobi. Yes, Evelyn. So from Mombasa to Nairobi, and so there we go. We went into this modern train. This was built by the Chinese. Everything was working slick. And you know, very modern, great food on the train. You had to all pre-ordered. You could only buy tickets online. No chance to buy tickets there on the go, on the spot. No, all online. Very modern. You got to have M-Pesa, like an app, and then you got to have credit on it. And so it's like, wow, welcome to the new world. It was amazing. I was like mind blown. And I was like thinking, wow. So all my US train experiences being in the US was like shocking, worse. So bad. You thought like, wow, I'm back into the Middle Age or whatever, riding the trains in the US. And there I am in the middle of Africa, where you sometimes have no roads, or we need to get to our office from the hotel, which is 5 kilometers. You need like 2 hours to get to the office because there's just no roads, or they're full as traffic. But yet you have this very modern train. So things like that sometimes is also good posts. So as you see, it's the diversity which will get interactions. So another strategy we found with, of course, the people who are going through the courses, our students here, is baiting the hook with curiosity posts. So rather than just giving the information away and making it seem like you spamming the wall, with a lot of people are spamming the wall trying to sell people, is really creating curiosity posts. And so how do we do that? How do we bait the hook? Well, you know, another one could be shout outs. You know, shout outs, something like, hey, you know, I'm super proud of my buddy John. You know, we got we got him on our product and set himself and his family up to building generational wealth by getting paid to save in gold or silver. Way to go, John. That's it. Maybe I post a picture of John there. I didn't talk about Utopian Global. I didn't talk so much in detail about the product. I didn't. And people will come back to it and say, well, yeah, tell me more. Well, what did John do? What, you know, what is this all about? So, and there you go, going to get the, of course, engagement. Another one is congratulations. So it could be something, hey, really shout out, congratulations to my friend Susan. She just earned a new laptop paid through our company. And you know, when we had these incentives with the beautiful things there with the, what was it, the golden banknotes, I did a lot of those shout outs back then to the people who did win the golden banknotes. And people were asking, wow, this looks beautiful. What is this? Tell me more. So those things are really, really cool. And of course you can say, well, way to go, Susan. So, you know, shouting her out. And so being able to give shout outs, recognize people is a really great way as well. Or you could put on, you know, huge congratulations. And of course, this is just examples. You got to find the examples within the company. Huge congratulations to my friend John and Susan, who just went to their 5th trip this year, paid for by our travel bonus program. And all you know, we have an amazing incentive program where you can win a trip. So you have it all. If you go to your back office, you download it there, the incentive program, what you have to do, what you have to achieve for that. And people, of course, have achieved those trips. Of course, now, you know, there's no much trips with Corona times, but we eventually will get out of that again. And of course, the new car program we're gonna launch is gonna be amazing as well. So another one could be, you know, congratulations to my friend John. His income with our company is now, he's now able to retire 22 years earlier. Of course, if you have these people which have achieved an income, basically that they could replace their income. They don't need to go anymore to their job because they're now making more money here with the company than they made in their prior job. So things like that, things like, things like, you know, basically a product experience they had. Maybe with store, it could be, I mean, there's just so many ways. Well, so proud, you know, of my buddy, I don't know, Jim. Well, finally, he, being from Kenya, could be able to own a part of a stake of ownership in an oil field in you know, the United States, while normally for where he comes from, this is only preserved to the super wealthy. Huge shout out for that. You know, people will ask, well, how did he do that? What did he do? How is that possible? So, I mean, this is really, really great. And people will ask you, well, what did he do? How did John retire? Can you share it with me? And so another one, of course, is product testimonies. And there's always the big question, should I prospect for the business opportunity or should I prospect for the product? So business or product, of course, there's always 2 major schools of thought. Online marketing the product, if it is, of course, a highly retainable product. How would you consider our product? I would consider our product a highly retainable product because See, I'm promoting savings plans on precious metals since ages. I mean, that's 14 years now. The people who are on a savings plan in precious metals just continuously, consistently buy precious metals. And I have quite a lot who are doing this since 14 years. I could, with 100% guarantee, tell you they have been doing very well. They have, accumulate a really, really great portfolio. And some of them, they're just doing 25 euros a week or 25 euros a month. But yet they have been able to build a really great foundation of wealth. And of course, we know with all the money printing going on, if they were to sell their gold today, they would have way more purchasing power than, of course, their money, their currency has. So definitely, leading with the product is a really great way. And that should be probably the lead, but then sending out the opportunity as well. And I know the way is really going towards product. And in fact, we do have probably in the high 80s, actually people just consuming our product, buying on a, of course, regular basis our product instead of building the business. It always has been so. It always probably is that way because it's just the way it is because of the type of product we do have. So let's say you're on a weight loss product, you're probably going to consume the weight loss, but eventually when you lost the weight, you're off the weight, you may still promoting it, but you probably don't need to consume it anymore because you're off the weight. And now, you don't need to consume that more, right? But with our product, you always want to build wealth. You consistently want to accumulate. That's what the wealthy people do. They always put part of their portfolio into, of course, precious metals. So now what I'm doing and have been doing is I'm more heavier on the opportunity side. I'm more heavier on the opportunity side because I'm looking typically for business builders. But of course, I very much can say of my people, most of them, they're actually on the product side, but I'm personally more so on of course, the building side. So you got to be a product of the product. Now, I really key as well. I'm always buying product. I'm always buying more. I'm always consistently converting my commissions into gold or silver, converting my commissions into store. I'm always doing that. Any new product which is coming out, which there are gonna be a lot of products coming out, I'm always putting my money in it. Why? Because you got to be a product of the product as well. So another strategy on of course, building your social media profile out there is ask questions. Ask questions. Those are posts which highly engage people. Hey, what's your favorite podcast? I'm looking for recommendation. People will always recommend you stuff because it's just the nature we have. Who's your favorite motivational speaker? Hey, looking for a good book to read. What's your favorite book? And you're going to get tons of people, depending, of course, on your following, reaching out and telling you. What's your favorite book and why? And that's another thing when you're asking questions. Don't just ask for the sake of asking, hey, what's your favorite book? No, just don't do that. Don't just ask for the sake of asking question, what's your favorite movie? Ask why. And why is this your favorite book? Why is this your favorite movie? What did you learn about? What did you find most intriguing? What is it about that? So not just asking what it is, but why is that? So because we always want the connection to go deeper, and the deeper questions we ask, the deeper answers we're gonna get, the more deeper insight we have in their lives, the more deeper answer we see, how they tick, what they do, what they don't like, what they prefer, what they would like to have, what their dreams are, what their desires are, so that we can see how can we actually or our business help them achieve those desires, those goals, those dreams they have. So as deeper we have the questions, as deeper the connections, as better insights we have. So what are the types of posts? Of course, you should also have fun posts. Friday night fun, date night out. I'm heading out to do this. What are you guys doing? Sunday fun day. I remember last year I went to this beautiful concert of Cher. Oh, love, this was the way before Corona. It was amazing. I did sit in the first row in the middle and I saw her right in front of me. I posted tons of stuff. I was just, wow, a woman in her 70s, so inspirational. I mean, it's just, wow, I shared that. It was fun, amazing. I got a ton of interaction because of that, got a ton of leads of that as well. So, and then now another one, what are you guys, posts like Sunday fun day, what are you guys doing for fun day today? And you will have people commenting, interacting. You can do posts like, my biggest hero is so-and-so, and here's why. And who's your hero? And of course, put it why. I often see here, well, Bob Proctor, right? Because he did really inspire me. You could do questions like, what do you tell your younger self? I tell the 20 years old me, and you share that, what this actually is. And so again, you're building that connection with your audience, and it's getting your audience, of course, to build connection with you as well. So post like Mondays. Oh, thank good it's Monday. You know the TGA Friday? Well, thank good it's Monday. See, most people hate Mondays, don't like Mondays, suffer from Mondays because it's beginning of their work week, and most people, we learned, don't like their job. So if you post, well, thank God it's Monday, how come you like Mondays? Nobody likes Mondays. So you're a little bit different. I want to leave you here with understanding prosperity is the result of radical generosity. You got to give generously. You got to give generously insight in your lives. You got to give generously the information you have learned. So you got to actually be open with that and give generously all these ideas away. And I tell you what, you will become a great influencer. You all, it doesn't matter where you come from, you all can learn that if, of course, you wish to. Again, as I said in the beginning, you don't want that. You don't want to build a career. You don't want to make a lot of money. You don't want to become an influencer. That is totally fine. But if you are here and you wish to build your business using social media, you got to build a following. Like I myself, I have tons to do still. I have so much I have to better. I'm long not there. But I already at the point where I don't really need to go for people. I have daily people coming to me and messaging me, are you still with this gold company? What was this? Well, I've seen just your recent post. Well, are you still, well, are you doing? So all the time I have people coming to me and asking. And so I, of course, then can engage and so on. And so this is not the case when you're starting out. And again, there's people who have a great following because of whatever circumstance, and this is fine, but not everybody has that. This is really here the course, the teaching for you guys, that you are actually learning how to become an influencer so that you can, of course, attract people. And what really key is authenticity. You got to be authentic to what you stand for, what you are, because you at the end of the day want to attract people you would like to hang out? Your folks, your people. See, I attract people differently than other people. I attract people usually, you know, I probably would like to hang out with. So you got to put stuff out there. You got to build your influence around, of course, that staying honest to you, to yourself. What would you like? And so if you do that, you will attract, of course, your folks. So this is the training for today. And again, you got to really plug into those other trainings now, because you're going to get a lot of contents on the how to engage. What do I engage with? How do I go into those Facebook groups? How do I benefit by, you know, adding people, or going into, of course, those Facebook groups and getting actually new leads out, engaging with new people. You're going to learn all of that in the other trainings. This was really meant for the attraction phase. How do you become attractive, of course, to your audience? So with that, I want to say thank you. I'm going to now stop my share screen, and I'm going to stop my